Hello, my name is Claudia Maldonado, and my oral presentation will be based on Goodbye Christopher Robin. The main thematics that I will be presenting are love and loss. Thank you, I hope you enjoy. Here we have the first quote. It says, "A person should do the things the person loves with the people a person loves because you never know what happens next." So, this is one of the important life lessons that Olive teaches Billy in Goodbye Christopher Robin. This particular lesson is about love and the nature of time. Olive's message is that because time doesn't stop, time is transient, and we don't know what might happen in the future, we should do everything that we love with the people that we love. In simpler words, life can sometimes be too short to spend it with disgust or doing the things that you don't like and feeding into negative emotions. We mustn't live with negative emotions, and instead we should do what we love with the people we love, of course. Great company is the best. Here we have the second quote. "Writing a book against war is like writing a book against Wednesdays." This quote was uttered by Daphne Milne. She says this because she finds herself irritated because Alan seems to have lost his creativity and inspiration after the war. And she wants Alan to realize that he would be writing what she believes to be, of course, a pointless book. She wants him to notice that he can't stop war, and that much like Wednesdays, wars are inevitable. And to Daphne, it seems like the only subject that Alan can focus on is the war and the country's issues. So she's frustrated with him because to her it seems like he only talks about the war since he's come back from the war, of course. And she just wants him to be creative or find a hobby and forget about the war, even though that's not quite possible with Alan. For the third quote, I chose "It's just bees." Billy tells this to his father, Alan, in order to comfort him. Of course, we know that Billy is only a child and does not know what it means to come back from the war and doesn't know that his father deals, or more so struggles, with PTSD, that is post-traumatic stress disorder. And he tries to comfort him by telling him it's just bees. And this sentence seems to calm Alan down and calm his post-traumatic flashback. This quote also represents the love through trauma and how powerful it is and how it can accompany someone in a journey to be healed again, to feeling some sense of self and normality back in life, especially someone like Alan, who has just come back from the war and struggles with PTSD. Here we have the fourth quote, and it says, "He has to know he's important to someone, that someone cares about him." Now, this quote represents loss, the loss of reality of Alan and Daphne Mill. They lost the sense of their son's reality also, because they became submerged in the facade, in the blinded reality, or more so fantasy, that they portrayed to the outside world. To the outside world, Christopher Robin appeared to be the most beloved, cherished, and overall happiest boy in the world. However, this was not the reality for Billy Moon, even though he was loved dearly by his parents. The love they portrayed wasn't exactly how it was in their own privacy. In their home, their love was a little bit more dry, less affectionate than what they portrayed to the outside world. Moving on to the fifth quote, "Wait, don't go." Now, this might be, I guess, my favorite quote that I chose, because in plain sight, it doesn't seem like much, and it doesn't reveal anything right away. But this quote actually marks the moment when Billy goes off to war, and it also marks the moment where Alan and Daphne begin to mourn the loss of their son. Because even though they didn't know if he was alive, dead, or anything at that point, because he was just leaving, they took death with war. They thought that he was going to die, so they began to mourn him the moment he left. And this is also one of the first times where we see Alan Milne get emotional towards Billy, and more so to the thought of Billy, because anything that brought this thought into his mind made him get emotional, because he thought that his child was going to die. And he also felt guilt. Now, this is the sixth and last quote for the oral presentation. Well, if it isn't Billy Moon. This is said by Alan when he greets Billy back home after the war, after they were told he was dead. Now, I know I said the previous quote was my favorite, but this one is really up there too, because if you see the movie, this will make you cry, because the dry nature or non-affectionate nature of both Daphne and Alan Milne, it makes you just want to care more for them, because they were greeting their son, which they thought was dead. This quote represents the love between Billy and his father, and the love language they both have between each other. It is both dry and non affectionate, and even though it is non affectionate, it's still clear and present that they loved Billy a whole lot. And it's really great in their own unique form, because even though it's dry, they have this understanding between each other that there was always love, that you shouldn't mistake the non-affectionate characteristics of their love language for loss of love, because there was love and a lot of it, but it was just in a different way. That concludes my presentation of the 6 quotes, but I want to make a final statement to really conclude this presentation. I chose these quotes because they related to me personally, and because each one of these represent either love or lost within the story, and they represent vital moments of the storyline, and they are organized in a chronological order. And these thematics are so important to real life because they represent major emotions of life. Because many times life deals with love and with loss. You know, with love comes loss. Just like life, just like love, loss is inevitable. And I think overall, that is an important lesson to learn. I think any additional information that you learn about emotions is additional information that you learn about yourself. And this really allowed me to make a reflection about all of these emotions and things that might happen in life. It really took me aback, and I really was able to distance myself and reflect, and just made me contemplate how I would react. And it's just an amazing story, I believe. And these quotes touched me deeply. So thank you for your attention, and I hope you liked it. Thank you.